Welcome to the meeting of the Environment Committee of Buckingham Town Council. Are there any apologies for absence?
Apologies from Councillor Singh and Councillor Mark.
Councillor Draper is running late,
Thank you.
and Councillor Stutchbury is running late, and I think Councillor Mahi's given his apologies.
Yeah, so I just said that. Yeah.
Item 2, declarations of interest. Does anyone have any?
No.
Item 3, minutes. To agree the minutes of the Environment Committee held on the 24th of November.
Sorry, I had one clarification on that, and Claire tells me that I need to say it now. So it said in there that the Climate Cafe had air quality monitors that we might be able to borrow. They don't have, they're looking for them, they're seeking to get some, but we still don't have them yet. So it's just a slight tweak to the wording.
Thank you. You agree to the amendment?
Yep.
Yeah. Agreed. Budgets to receive the latest studies.
Just
Lena, would you turn? Thank you.
Are we happy to go through page 3? Let's take them. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. And page 6. We've received the latest figures.
Received.
Yeah.
sorry, page 7.
Yeah. Oops. Councillor Harvey?
Yeah, I've got a query about
Sorry, I need to take that.
defibrillators, which is obviously significantly over budget. How come? You know,
We have a earmarked reserve for defibrillators where we put a little bit aside each year for when we need to replace one. So there's an earmarked reserve to cover, so £717 has come from the defibrillators earmarked reserve to cover the replacement machine.
sorry, it says we budgeted 550, but 968 has been spent.
And then in the last column, transfer to and from EMR.
Yeah, I see that, but why is it much more? Because of the putting money aside to replace it?
Yes, yeah, so
Alright.
earmarked reserve 340 EMR AEDS is where we put money aside to replace defibrillators when they break. Or when they have a shortened lifespan, however many years.
It's this one here, actually. First.
Sorry, it's 300, I can't see 340 there.
It's the earmark reserve on page 8 of 17. And it's called, the 340 is EMR AEDS.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
850 minus 717, 133.
All right,
Okay,
just wondered why it was so much. Okay.
thank you. Item 5, the Penstock tender. You have the report, and there's a recommendation as to which tender we should go for. Councillor Harvey,
I propose we accept your recommendations.
Councillor Schaefer,
I was going to second that.
thank you. Are you all in agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I believe we need to vote.
Hands up. Yeah.
Where am I? Put the hand down.
Then unanimous. We've. The Tindrick Road Cemetery update. There's a written report from the estates manager. And also a verbal report.
So yeah, the actual correct amount I've just say on here is the 10,000. That's at the bottom of the table. Not that the recommendation is at the top to note. But this is just detailing some of the equipment and things that we need under the new cemetery and allotments. So things like water troughs, notice boards, gates, various other bits and pieces that we need.
Yeah, they all look very sensible.
Thank you. The signage instructions for EV charger, does that not come from the company that owns the EV charge machine?
So no, they don't produce an actual sign. There is a little QR code on there, and there's instructions on. There's a little screen that they'll give you instructions. But we thought we wanted to make it really clear and obvious, so you could see what those bags were, and giving some clear written instructions.
I'm surprised it doesn't come from manufacturers. It's, yeah, all right, well, thank you for that.
It's quite easy to use as well. We've used it, and it's easy to access. I did test it out.
Good. Thanks.
That's a Harvey.
Did we end up calling the road to the cemetery Road, or did we just going to call it Tindrick Road? I've forgotten.
Cemetery, I think.
What's that?
I thought it was Cemetery Road.
Yeah. So we're still calling it Tindrick Road.
No idea.
So the cemetery itself is called Tindrick Road Cemetery.
Okay.
That was what was agreed, and then
Okay.
just the road. Yeah.
We can't very well call it Cemetery Road Cemetery, can we?
You're all happy with the recommendations of Dr.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
So agree the use
Second.
10,271,
Second.
not the 8,500 that actually states in the recommendation.
And that's seconded by Lisa. Are you all in favour?
Yep.
Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7, Derek Isham allotments.
Chair, the estates manager and myself would like to give a verbal report as well on some of the things that happened up at the cemetery as supplement to item 6.
Yeah, just to update everyone where we're at up there. So the construction works have been completed, except for a few other pieces. So they need to come back and install the main sign, which is had to be redone. Then there's also some landscape works. The agreed with contracts come back in March onwards when the ground conditions allow, just to finish off some seeding and some sort of levelling works. But the main thing that needs to be done is the water supply needs to still be connected to the site. There was an issue with getting the mains water to the site. So originally we wanted a large bore main coming to the site so that we could have a hydrant on the site. And they wanted to come across the A421 directly to the site, most direct route. And there was all sorts of issues with that, including wanting to close the road for 10 days, mounting costs that they couldn't reach. So the idea of the fire hydrant was it was there ready for when we have a building in the future. So we decided, let's do that when we get the building in the future. The situation might change sort of down the road on the field next to it by then as well. So what we're going to do is run water from the raghive and at the end of the site through the site and then connect up that way. But that's taken us a bit of time to finalise how we're going to do it. So our contractor will be installing the pipe across the site, and then Angle and Mortar will connect it up there, and it will come in that way. So yeah, it's work in progress at the moment, and we're trying to get that resolved as quickly as possible. And one of the last sort of things on the contract as well is there's a maintenance period. So I think it's 4 visits that the contractor will come out and do maintenance on. But that's the sort of construction work side. But over Christmas, there was an abandoned vehicle left up on the allotment site, actually left in the compost bays there. They broke through the security fencing and up through the access road and then broke through the gates at the cemetery. So when we came back after Christmas, there was a Mini that was being dismantled. And we reported to the police immediately and to street scene at Buckinghamshire Council with abandoned vehicles. So this sort of carried on for a few weeks, but then one day we came back and there was a lot of vandalism on the site. So 20 of the newly planted trees were cut down, cut in half. 25 yew hedges were pulled out and cut in half. And the new EV charger screens were smashed on both sides. There was also a second fence that was cut down. 2 signs were vandalised. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the gates were pulled off as well. So there's quite a lot of damage taking place in the region of about 5,000 to 6,000. And actually I was up there today with guys replacing the trees. So yeah, we've replanted most of the trees. We're back on Wednesday to finish that off. So the ground's so wet, we're going to have to do some of it with a track machine to try and get the trees in across the site. And the guys have done a really good job, repaired the fences and the gates. And then one last bit we've got to do is get the EV company out, EV charger company out to fix that. So yeah, it's been quite a busy period trying to fix all that. But now we're sort of back on top of it. We immediately got we redeployed our redeployable CCTV camera up there. So we installed a column for the camera, got that wired in. We've also put ton sacks of gravel across the gate down the bottom, so no vehicles can get in. But we can them on pallets, so we can move some of them out of the way when we need to get in. And the police did arrest the culprit as well.
Good.
So there's a bit of progress there.
Yeah.
The update on that, so there's obviously limits to what I can say in a public meeting, but they have arrested and the culprit has issued what's called a conditional caution, which is probably the highest that they can do without it going to court. And we can have a debate on whether or not that was correct or not, but he will have to complete a course as part of that conditional caution, and a few other things, but it is a once in I think it's 6 or 7 years that will stay on file for. He wouldn't be eligible for again, so if he's ever arrested for anything again, it would be a court appearance. There's a limit to how much the police can do in these situations. If it's not going to be if it's not going to be that this individual was going to go to prison or anything further from that, then they have a duty to dispose of it as quickly and as conveniently, and not conveniently, as quickly and as effectively as possible. So that's the outcome of it at the moment.
Yeah, just a question. Was any of this covered by our insurance policy?
So the EV charger will be, but our policy doesn't cover the trees, unfortunately.
I'd just like to thank the whole Green Spaces team and the officers for their swift and great work in putting it right again. It must have been absolutely gutting for everybody, considering the amount of work that's gone into it. Yeah, I remember how hard it was putting those trees in.
Yeah,
So,
very sad to hear about that, but brilliant work to put it back. That's a done again.
Thank you. So was it just one person that did all that damage?
He only admitted about 2/3 of it. We have no evidence that there was anybody else.
Yeah.
Quite a rampage to go on.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail about this individual because it's not fair, but there was obviously some issues there. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Question, would it be possible to come up and see the cemetery and allotment site at some point? So many of the new councillors haven't had a chance yet.
Absolutely desperate to arrange a day. At the moment, it's a big foggy mess. So we were hoping
Yeah,
to
not
wait
now,
for
perhaps. You need-
the bulb flower meadows come up and the bulbs are, and it looks a bit nicer than it is at the moment. And Lee's just been across it with the track, trying to get the trees and everything back in. So yes, definitely, we want to have and obviously we'll have a proper opening ceremony as well.
Yeah.
Give Mrs. Isham down and do it all correctly. But for the moment, it's been so wet up there. It's not really a very nice place to stand. I went up there with Lee quite recently, and it's windy and cold and miserable. So you won't see it at its best.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That's new.
Can we also thank the Thames Valley Police for their swift action?
Yeah.
In,
I will pass that on to the officer, it's PC Richards, Guy Richards, who got on top of that as quickly as he could, so yes, I'll pass that message on.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
Well done.
There's one more thing to go through as well about the cemetery as well. But carry on with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the one other issue we've had up there is with all this rain we've had, so we've got surface water drainage issue coming across the top access road. So the surface water is coming off the neighbouring field, crossing the field into our and going into our drains. So we are currently in discussions with CDS and the engineers who designed the scheme to establish what's happening and try and resolve the issue. At the moment, that's sort of ongoing at the minute, and we will report back once we know more why and what the solution is. And yeah, it was the other thing I was going to say was we're looking at late summer to start actually using the cemetery for burials once it's established as well. So on that.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lee.
yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 7, third margin allotments update.
Yeah, so it's just to update people really. Again, sort of the main issue is the water supply connections, the main issue. It's going to make it quite hard for allotment holders to get that. So we're desperate to know when that's going to be connected. Our original plan was to open up the allotments a lot sooner than actually we're going to start using them for burials. So yeah, watch this space. We are in communication with. We've got a bit of a waiting list of about 17 people who are interested in plots.
Right.
Which is really good, and we're really promoting through the newsletter, and we're going to start pushing now to get people interested in the dream committee. So yeah, and we're going to be communicating with everyone to let them know what's going on.
And how many plots will be available?
So we haven't been able to literally get on there and mark it out. We're expecting, so there's 25 full plots, but actually what you normally split those in half, so we're looking at around the 50 mark. Yeah, we'll sort of see, but once we've managed to get on there, at the moment you can't even walk across it, so it's, I want to get on there and cultivate it, help the drainage a bit, and we need to set out the plots. And there's also like a grass, there'll be like a grass road almost down the middle so people can get access. We want to get that established. We've got some water troughs to install as well. So at the moment there's taps already installed, but we want to get in there and do the troughs so people just fill them up with watering cans.
Nice.
Could grow rice.
Very good that.
What's the structure?
Apologise for being late. Got held up. Just to say, Lee, thank you for what you're doing on there. It is our biggest project from last year, and I expect it will take quite a while for the grass to establish, and because the site's all been moved around, the soil's got to consolidate and come to dry out, because it was quite wet soon after they did it, wasn't it? So also the great thing is at least it'll be watering the vegetation that we've got planted in there. So yeah, I think it'll be great when we get to it. Quite when it'll open, it'll be done by events, won't it? So but thanks to the team for what they've done. It looks really good.
I think the allotments will come under this committee, won't they, not events?
Yeah.
No, I said it'll be events which will predict when we.
Right, okay, I thought you was.
No, it will be events.
Okay.
That's what I said, because we don't know.
I think we're trying to have something else, will be.
No, not seriously not. I was just thinking it will be events that will predict it, because we can't control the weather and we can't grow the grass. But thank you for pulling me up. I really enjoyed that.
I just think that as well.
Yes.
Item 8, Buckingham Road,
He's got
Cemetery
4.
Canvas. Do we see the report from the estates manager? Thank you.
Yeah, these are just sort of clarification points, really. No major changes to the handbook. One is about how we explain sort of residency and non-resident fees, and the other one's just what we do if we want to repurchase or surrender. If people want to surrender their plots, how we handle it.
Yeah. Councillor Harvey.
I propose we accept the recommendation.
Yeah,
And second that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those in
And thank you.
favour?
thank the estates manager for the work he does on it.
Again.
Mm.
Item 9, Chandos Park streetlights, to receive a report from the estates manager.
mm,
And yeah,
I propose that we note the report.
I had a question.
Yes.
Are they LED streetlights in that part already? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Stratford.
So thank you for the report. I just think we've got problems with lights all over Buckingham, and thankfully the ones which aren't working outside here aren't ours. And the Chris Nicholl Walk question has always been an ongoing thing because that belongs to Buckinghamshire, and it's always been an ongoing issue. And but if we can get the lights working again, that'll be one place lit anyway, won't it, in Buckingham, even if the car park's still in the dark.
Councillor Harvey and then Councillor Davies.
Well, I just want to ask, it's related about the lights through the spinney at the end of Burnley Close. Any progress on that? Do we know anything?
I've been in conversation since September. What I can tell you is I know as much now as I knew in September. And Andy's also been in correspondence, but they are having problems identifying where the problem is. At one point, I had expressed them that it didn't belong to Buckingham Town Council early in my correspondence, and suggested that they took the revenue from it. So perhaps that was a clue. So I just think that, and I wrote to them today with some points that I think I spoke to Andrew about it as well, which is to do with what's changed in there since in recent years, to see if that's a clue to what may have gone wrong. Sent that email today because I hadn't had a response to the next one. Not being neglected.
I'm sure you.
I sent that email today. I didn't say who. I said I spoke to Anya about it. I think so.
Yeah.
I meant the weekend.
Councillor Davies and then.
I was just going to say that things they're not our streetlights, and it's not on the agenda. It's not really something we should be discussing at this point. So, if anybody's got anything to update, maybe do it outside of the meeting.
In that case, I won't say anything because I've just been told not to.
Sorry.
told off.
Okay, Lace Hill fees. Report from the Lace Hill coordinator that talked about 50p an hour. Councillor.
I don't know if I knew, did members note the report?
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
note
know.
it, yeah.
Carry on, right.
I've proposed that we accept both recommendations.
Second that, Chairman.
Thank you. Is everyone in agreement?
Yeah.
Thank you. Unanimous. Item 11, action reports. Receive the report and note the updated information. You all happy with that? Councillor Stratford?
I'm sure it's got an answer that it's going to be arranged, but the Railway Conservation Group 6.68 stroke, whatever, meeting to be arranged. They historically, as Deputy Chair knows, they did huge amounts of work down there throughout the years, and getting that in some form or fashion would be wonderful. Up and running, I presume that officers are doing all they can to actually move that forward, but what you can't do is force people to do something which is a voluntary act.
Has been in quite a few conversations, and I would say, and I won't announce anything here, but Councillor Haydock has been quite active in that as well and very helpful. So I'm hoping by next environment we'll have a good solid update for you. But there is a lot going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I spoke to Anna about that today. So we're moving things forward, but there's still questions that we need answering, or we know where to go with it.
What's the secretary?
No criticism of councillor Gately, but it says on item 408 that councillor Gately is liaising with the member of parliament. But perhaps somebody should pick that up for her.
Well, it said members have been liaising with the
It
MP.
said motion by councillor Gately. Yeah, maybe my reading of it, but we do need to pick that one up.
I would have, the chair, the public seating, I have had an exchange with the Buckingham Society, which I picked up on the day, and that proper time to digest it. But that they have come back to me, so it has been chosen, and they have responded.
Lucy, do you want to say here?
I don't mind, I don't know what the protocol is.
We're
I thought
right.
it was done.
Yeah. I think the nice tidy thing was if members were to resolve to carry on with the vice chair.
Yeah.
Yes, resolved.
Yeah.
resolved.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So there was communication from the Mothers Can group,
Yeah.
which
Fiona.
is in relation to the no idling zones, and I think that possibly we'll link in with the Buckingham Primary School invitation. I can't remember off the top of my head what they were inviting us to
They
go
want to
do.
talk about
Eco something.
speeding, I think, and speeding and parking rather than.
Right, okay.
Hmm.
That's going back a while ago, isn't it?
Mhm.
It is, I will touch base with them again and see if we can push that forward. The last correspondence I was asking when would be a good day to visit.
Okay, but I think we do need to go back to this no idling zones
Yeah,
issue.
Yeah, I agree.
definitely.
And make sure that we can, because the Mothers Can working group were working with us on it.
Yeah.
They included me in some correspondence the other day, and I think
That was as well.
Yeah.
yeah, Heather and
Yeah.
various people. So I think if we can get a meeting with them again and see where we go forward with that.
On that
Yeah.
moment, did I respond to that?
You did,
No, I'm not going to.
yeah.
That's the secretary.
Thank you for bringing that up. But I think one of the things with the no idling zone is, I know Heather attended the meeting the other day. It was about air quality. I think one of the things that perhaps we need to brush up on is what is a standard air quality for an area. And you remember historically we campaigned to get the bypass monitored because of the air quality, and we did manage to get it read, and it did get actually after 20 years it got actually recorded. It didn't come back with anything strategic. But I think this is something perhaps we need to look at what they're saying they're going to do, Buckinghamshire Council, about air quality, and then see where we can apply that to see where we can get some monitoring of the air quality outside the schools, which then would give us weight to suggest to them the air quality isn't good. If you did thus, it would improve it. And I mean, Heather might, what was at the meeting, she may have more to say than I do on it, but that's what I actually think.
Yeah, I mean, they're going the other way at the moment. They're deregulating a lot of the areas because they haven't hit the threshold over a number of years. So then they can sort of de-escalate it, if you like, and they're actually not doing as much monitoring across the county or in the worst places. And the worst places are the bigger towns and cities in the county. So Buckingham wouldn't be in the top 10 of most polluted areas in Buckinghamshire. So I would be very surprised if they're going to do any more monitoring around here.
I beg to differ. That's good sport. Yeah.
I did also speak to the community boards about that the other day to see if there was any interest there, and they ran a programme a few years ago of monitoring outside schools, but again, they didn't seem to be thinking it was a high priority for them at the moment.
So there's data somewhere then.
There's data, but not for Buckingham. There were a number of schools. There's one in Marlow, and there's other places around the county that they monitored. Yeah.
Councillor Dinkley.
I think the where we left it last summer was that we were going to see if we can get hold of any monitoring
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah.
Because there was a few of us went up to Bourton Meadow and did a little survey of how many cars were idling and how many cars were really, really atrociously parked, didn't we? And it was quite a high number on
Yeah.
both counts. It's something that generally peters off, the idling when the weather gets warmer. So I suggest that we try to get a meeting with Mothers Can and get on with that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Just in addition to that, it's you sort of get the two peaks. You get when it's cold weather and people are idling to have their heating on,
Yeah.
and then when it's really hot weather because they're idling to have their air conditioning on.
Yeah.
But as the Mayor says, when it gets towards sort of springtime, we'll see it drop.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you. Item 12, news releases. Is there anything else in?
The only one of note for us is obviously on the action list. We are going to put the news release out for the bulb planting with the Scouts people.
Oh, yeah.
We want the bulbs to look nice with, so we can get some nice photos in at the moment again. So that's the one that's on the list at the moment.
Thank you. That's a hobby?
Is it worth having a press release on, well, the action that we've taken to repair the damage at the new cemetery? And praising the local police for, tracking down the offender and, bringing that person to justice and just raise awareness, as it were, or would that be counterproductive?
Absolutely.
I think that would be counterproductive, and also if there's somebody being arrested and is currently going through whatever that might be due to see. And I don't think we want to draw huge amounts of attention to the fact that somebody's gone and done it, because it might actually encourage other people to go and have another go themselves. Personally.
My instinct is that I wouldn't want to draw attention to the fact that sites are occupied at the moment. That's just my instinct. And whilst Lee has moved heaven and earth, or at least 8 tons with gravel. Pedestrians, there's too many ways of people being able to get through fences and across fields. So I think my instinct at the moment is to try and lay them, stay under the radar. But I will definitely write to the neighbourhood sergeant and say thank you for the contact you was taking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a statutory.
On the same theme, I think we will obviously do a collective press release at the right time in the future with the positive story about when people can get access to it and once that's possible. Might be something that comes up at the annual town meeting, because it's people drive by it and they'll ask questions. That it might be worth just having some stock information available for that group, because they'll ask why the gravel bags are there and they'll ask all these things. It'd be better if we're prepared.
Thank you. Item 13, chair's announcements. I don't have any, but I don't know if Lucy does.
Not at the moment.
Thank you. And item 14, date to the next meeting, Monday the 13th. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Thank you.
Will you leave?